Oh yeah, what up? This video is going to be me discussing the new direction of Ring of Honor, what they're going in, and obviously the biggest news of the week, Gabe Sapolsky's departure from Ring of Honor. No lie, you probably expected me to do this video maybe a couple days earlier, but I felt that, I just wanted to wait to see what maybe they're going to be announcing as their new direction and see if there was any changes this week so far that you could tell that's happened. And there's been a few changes as far as Gabe Sapolsky's departure, which is the first thing I'm going to discuss, which is this is a huge loss for Ring of Honor because Gabe Sapolsky has been there from day one, but something like this always has to happen when, say a sports team, whether it's NBA, NFL, or Major League Baseball, when they got to a certain level and they can't get any further, they need to go in a different direction. And due to attendance not being as high as it once was, and a lot of markets, the huge financial failure that was the West Coast shows, and just the DVD sales not being as high as they once were, and obviously, the pay-per-views. The pay-per-views haven't really got them that much money. So, they had to do some type of change. Unfortunately, the guy they had to go with was Gabe Sapolsky. Just like I said, any sports team would have done the same thing, firing, like Isaiah Thompson or anyone like that, when, they got to a certain level, they can't get any further, and you see a little decline in the company, you're going to have to make some changes. And the change they made was hiring the new booker, which is Adam Pearce, which I don't really necessarily have a problem with. Now, the one thing with Adam Pearce that I'm probably going to have a problem with, and I know I'm not the only one that's probably going to say this, which is if Adam Pearce is still an active wrestler, I think this is going to be a complete disaster, because I feel, if you want to keep Ring of Honor the way it is and not keep it, in the way where it would be like, mainstream companies where it'd be a lot of political control, because I feel Adam Pearce, I don't think he would make himself world champion or try to push himself too far, but if you're given the opportunity to be the booker, you don't know what you're going to do. If you have the power to do it, you might do it. I don't think Adam Pearce is selfish like that, but you don't know. If you get that power, you might get the opportunity of wanting to do it, whether people are going to like it or not. Now, the one thing that people are pretty much bitching about Adam Pearce being the new booker is that he doesn't have that much experience. Now, he has a little booking experience, not that much. He's booked for some Southern California independents, namely AWS, and I think in a couple others. He probably has possibly helped out PWG at some points or another, and other small independent groups in the Southern California area. And, you got to think, when Gabe Sapolsky started in Ring of Honor, pretty much he was very inexperienced. He was just giving you ball to run with Ring of Honor. And, with him, Rob Feinstein, Doug Gentry, they, founded Ring of Honor. Gabe was the booker. And he was very inexperienced. I mean, obviously he had a little booking experience, but not that much. Pretty much he was, during the original ECW, he was Paul Heyman's protege, so he learned a little from Paul Heyman, which obviously helped him with his booking. And, some of the mistakes the original ECW made, he learned from that Ring of Honor wouldn't make. And, it's just a testament to Gabe's booking that, with independent promotions, a lot of independent promotions don't even last 6 years. And that's a testament to his booking, that they've been able to get to that level, and they've been able to get to the level of pay-per-view. They've been able to somewhat gain a fan base, but there's a lot of things they need to do to get to the next level. And obviously, Gabe Sapolsky, he did a lot of great booking. The Combat Zone versus Ring of Honor feud, probably one of the best, invasion-type angles in wrestling history. A lot of great stuff within that feud. If you haven't seen it, I recommend pretty much, any of the summer of 2006 to see that feud. Death Before Dishonor 4. And, the 100 show, and a lot of shows in between that really showcased that feud very well. Last year, the Briscoes versus Steam Generica feud was epic. Ended with the classic tag team ladder match at the Man Up pay-per-view. So Gabe's done a lot of good booking. And, to his booking, he booked the Raven and CM Punk feud, which was the feud that first got me started in Ring of Honor. So you got to say Gabe knew some type of feud that would get some outside fans that maybe haven't followed the product before and then want to follow it. Then from that feud, I started, following the other wrestlers that I knew at that point in 2003, that's wrestled, in TNA, or I knew before that from, any other independent groups like NWA Wildside, where AJ Styles got started. And, that's what really helped me become a Ring of Honor fan, was that feud. Then seeing, guys like, AJ Styles being there, Christopher Daniels, seeing how great Samoa Joe was, and, Homicide and a lot of other stars in Ring of Honor, and seeing that they're focused on tag team wrestling, which is the one thing I think that, all Ring of Honor fans have loved over the years was, Ring of Honor was one of the very few companies in the United States where you can get good quality tag team wrestling, and, it actually has emphasis on the tag team division and the world title, which I felt Gabe did a good job with. Now, the parts of his booking that I had a problem with was, last year I understand the idea of having the Briscoes main event a lot. You wanted them to, make the tag team title seem equally as important as the world title. So I didn't necessarily have a problem with it last year where the world title wasn't always in the main event, because there was booking decisions behind it that made sense for it not being in the main event, because you were booking the Briscoes as, the top faces of the tag team division, tag team champions for, a long time last year, and it made sense for them doing that. Now this year, I felt, it's been a little different. I don't like the idea of a lot of shows. Probably, 8 or 10 shows this year, and probably at least the other shows this year have had something else in the main event.
Now, I understand sometimes, like the Austin Aries and Jimmy Jacobs feud, that's an epic feud, and you want to showcase it in the main event. But I feel, you always need to have the world title in the main event. Unless it's something like, some type of big stipulation like a ladder match, or something like an I Quit stipulation, or, some type of big stipulation to end a feud. Then you can have the world title not in the main event that night, or you're doing something with the tag team titles. But pretty much I would say at least 65 to 70% of the shows should have the ROH world title in the main event. I feel that it's getting almost around the other opposite side, where it's probably 60% of the time it's not in the main event, and 40% it is in the main event. So that's one problem they've had. And obviously, as far as DVD sales, this year has been a good year for Ring of Honor. It hasn't been a great year for Ring of Honor. There's been a number of great shows this year, but you have noticed there's been more, B-type shows, which you'll get when you do double shots. You're going to get one show that's good, the other show that's like, maybe worth watching or worth checking out maybe for 1 or 2 matches, but nothing you would say, hey, this is worth going out your way for. So this is when Ring of Honor, with Adam Pearce's booking and maybe some, changes within maybe their DVD distributions on their site, maybe they need to do something. I know they do these sales a lot, because right now they've got a 25 to 30% off sale on their site. Now the sales obviously do help out, people that follow Ring of Honor religiously, because that's the main way I get my Ring of Honor DVDs, is whenever they do, buy 3 get 1 free, or a big sale like they're doing right now, because that really saves you a lot with the money you would have to pay for the DVDs. But, maybe for casual fans, maybe every once in a while, put maybe a double shot, a 2-disc DVD and 1 pack, just charge it for $20. Don't do it for every double shot, but maybe do it for every, at least, every once in a while. Maybe at least, say do it every 3 months. So, every 3 months do that, or do it every other once in a while, like I said, and charge $20. That will, and don't make it a show where it's just, not that great of matches. I would, make sure it's good quality stuff on there, because if it's good quality stuff, people will want to come back, get more DVDs, because I felt, that's what they tried to do with the double feature DVD, which was, atrocious. It was easily, one of Ring of Honor's worst shows this year, but I know they did the thing where it's 2 shows packed in one, but it didn't come off good, so they needed, if they do like those type of things again or anything, they need to make it good quality shows. And, Adam Pearce, I think, might do good. It's going to be one of those things that's going to be
It's going to either be Adam Pearce hitting the home run and Ring of Honor is going to go in another direction. It's going to be great, or it can be a complete failure. It's going to be a time process where we're going to have to wait. I would say at least till probably March or April of 2009 to really see how this new direction is going to go, because obviously some of the booking they're doing right now for the November shows is probably some of Gabe Sapolsky's booking. They might overhaul a little of it, if he's booked stuff up till Final Battle 2008. But, we're going to have to wait till at least early 2009 to really see what this new direction is going to be. I think, people should just give it a chance. Don't really shit on Adam Pearce as a booker yet until he really fucks something up. Now, if he fucks something up, I'll probably be, one of the first people to come out and say Adam Pearce is fucking up. I'm going to give him a chance. I think a lot of, diehard Ring of Honor fans will give him a chance, because it's not really Gabe Sapolsky. Ring of Honor can be Ring of Honor without Gabe Sapolsky. Gabe Sapolsky is just a booker. Ring of Honor is Ring of Honor because of the wrestlers like Bryan Danielson, Nigel McGuinness, and the Briscoes. It's not because of the booker. Now, the booker had some influence in the way they were utilized and the way they've been booked, but those stars are the reason why Ring of Honor is where it is. Stars like that. And, Ring of Honor, even though they've been making some cutbacks, you notice they're not in, like, financial straits where it looks like they're going to go out of business, because just recently, they had LAX for a double shot weekend. And, coming up, Samoa Joe's going to be making his Ring of Honor return for one night only for the Final Battle 2008 weekend and Final Battle show, or the weekend, and at the end of December, you're going to have Marufuji, Kenzo Suzuki, and Nakajima coming in. So, that shows, they're still going to be using the Japanese talent. I know that's one thing a lot of people are worried about, because this new direction that they're going in, from what if you believe what they've been saying or the rumors, they're saying they're going to go more in a old school 70s direction. Now, if this means, change in the in-ring product, then that's going to really hurt them. Now, if they just mean like what they have said, which is, the stronger faces, the stronger heels, which I think Ring of Honor desperately needs. They have Nigel McGuinness being a strong heel, but pretty much everyone else on the roster, even guys in the Age of the Fall other than, Jimmy Jacobs, are pretty much tweeners. That's the way Tyler Black is. Tyler Black don't really get heel heat, and he's in a group where he should get booed the fuck out of the building, but he gets cheered because of his talent. You definitely need more clear-cut baby faces and heels and less tweeners. Now, there's going to be some wrestlers that no matter what are going to be tweeners, because that's pretty much, even in Ring of Honor and even in TNA, Samoa Joe is pretty much always a tweener. He's booked as a face pretty much almost all the time, but he's always gets that tweener pop where some fans go like him, some fans don't. It's just going to be like that with some wrestlers, but definitely like the clear cut baby faces, clear cut heels. And the 70s style, now, if they go, too old school, where it seems like, what you've done these last 6.5 years don't mean anything, you're going in a completely different direction and change the, in-ring work, I don't think that's going to work. Now, if you keep it, like I said, clear-cut baby faces, clear-cut heels, maybe, better structured storylines, then that will work. I think the in-ring style, it's okay to have a little old school feel to it, because pretty much a lot of the Ring of Honor wrestlers work that, technical style anyway, so it's not going to really hurt the likes of Nigel McGuinness, Bryan Danielson, Tyler Black, or, some of the Japanese talents, but I think they still need to go, with the incorporation of some old school style, which make it, technical matches from time to time. I think you need to still have the strong style of Japan, because that's one thing that's Ring of Honor's been popular with for a long time. It's the strong style, and especially if you're bringing in guys from Japan, I doubt they're going to want to switch up the way they work in the United States and work a more old school style, even though some could, work a technical style, but I think, what people want to see from them is obviously the strong style. They need to incorporate a little of the 70s style, obviously, more of the newer style with the strong style from Japan, a little maybe lucha influence, not that much though. What they're going to do is going to be less spotty, which does help out, but, Ring of Honor really hasn't been that spotty, so people that think, if they're going to be cutting out spots and they're not it's going to really affect Ring of Honor. It's really not going to affect them. I mean, now some guys, like Jack Evans, if he comes back and they don't want him to be that spotty, he can switch around. Some guys will call Jack Evans a spot monkey, but within the last, 2 years, he's really, changed up his style. He still does the high flying stuff, but not to the level he once did. So he can incorporate some mat wrestling when he wants to, and that's the way they're going to have to go with some guys. El Generico is one of those exciting, fast-paced wrestlers, so he can't change up his style and go to the, slow-paced 70s styles. It's going to be one of those things, like I said, we'll have to wait and see how it does. Hopefully it does good. Obviously, the one thing that I do like that we already have noticed from the change is the way that the news wires are printed and worded out. Instead of it just being hype for a match, now it's actually building around storylines, building up events that are coming up and, stuff like that, and promoting, obviously, say if they got a sell on their side or, ROH video wires up on YouTube, they, promote it that way, and it works out there. And then, obviously, the thing we've seen that looks like it's really good is they've really, over the last week, ever since Gabe Sapolsky's departure from Ring of Honor, you already noticed a little change as far as the way they're utilizing their YouTube account. They've, been doing hype videos for their Canadian shows. They have a hype video for a 4-way ROH World Title match, the Briscoes versus Steen and Generico ROH Tag Team titles. They got hype videos for that. And that's one thing I think Ring of Honor needs to keep doing, do hype videos, because if you want to help attendance for shows, hype videos online could possibly, make some people go to the shows. If, obviously one thing I think they need to do, which I think they already do in some markets like Chicago and New York, but I don't know if they do in other areas, which is, get some local radio station and have them hand out some tickets, have them get some networks to promote the show in the area, which I think they do in New York, but other than that, I don't think they really do it in other areas. So they need to definitely, promote the shows good, possibly, all you have to do is just go the old school route, handing out flyers and stuff like that, around the time of the show, which some fans do to help out the shows already, but I think they need to promote the shows a little more, which the hype videos, I think, do a good job with that. Obviously, the newest Ring of Honor video wire, we already seen they're trying to have a little better production value with the video wires as far as the audio quality of it, the video quality, and definitely just the overall production of it. The recent video wire, you look at that, you say, why haven't they been doing this, these last 2-3 years they've been on YouTube and not, make their videos seem better, which I think that's one thing they need to definitely do. And possibly, the one thing they definitely need to do is, Ring of Honor is our partners on YouTube, so they definitely need to have some type of, longer videos from time to time. I don't understand why they always keep to the, 10-minute limit where they don't have to. They can make videos go as long as they want. They can upload videos with better quality. That's one thing they definitely need to do. One other thing that I think they need to switch up at some point or another is maybe overhaul the Ring of Honor site, have it have a different look, have it have a different feel to it that, if you're not a long-time Ring of Honor fan and you go to the Ring of Honor site, you're going to look at it like it's a amateur site. I felt they, somewhat incorporated some stuff and make it seem a little better, but not that much. They definitely need to, have more videos more frequently on YouTube, which I feel that it looks like they're starting to do. Hopefully they keep that up and don't stop it. I think, the way they need to do it is they got, 4 shows a month. That's the way they do it. Say you do it this way. They just had, a video wire of their show from Danbury, Connecticut, the return of the 187. Now they need to do another video wire possibly next week showcasing stuff from the night after at their Saturday show where they had LAX versus the Briscoes, and do it that way. One week you show clips from one show, the other week you show clips from another show, then you're done with that double shot. Then do some hype videos for the next double shot that's coming up after that, and just promote the shows better. That's going to be helping out attendance. I think Adam Pearce could possibly do good. Like I said, Gabe Sapolsky at one point or another was an inexperienced booker, and see what he did. Adam Pearce possibly could do that. His philosophy of booking is different from Gabe Sapolsky, but it isn't different in the way where Ring of Honor is going to incorporate and change to a sports entertainment product. Whereas I was worried about, at first, you heard names like Luke Bushwhacker possibly being a booker. You had some people saying that, Steve Corino could have been a booker. Then Adam Pearce came out and, found out that he's the booker. Thankfully, it's not Luke Bushwhacker booking, because if it was him booking, sure, we would have a complete change of Ring of Honor. It would be a sports entertainment product. And the one thing that's going to come out this good, which is the main reason why they wanted to have a change, was that now they possibly go to the next level, get a TV deal, because Gabe Sapolsky, for some reason or another, I don't understand why, because I feel, he says at this point they're not ready for TV. They've been ready for TV for over 2 years. They've been ready for TV since late 2006, and he's been holding them back. So that's one reason why they definitely needed to get Gabe Sapolsky out of there, because if they wanted to get the TV, they needed a switch. And I think, Adam Pearce, and no matter what, Kerry Silkins is the owner of Ring of Honor. If he feels something that Adam Pearce is going to be doing that's going to, change the promotion and hurt them and hurt their fan base that they already have built in, Kerry Silkins is obviously going to override that and say, hey, Adam, you're not going to go in this route. I think we need to stick to what we're doing, or something like that. So this is going to be a growing process for Ring of Honor. I think it's going to be interesting to watch. Possibly, better overall storylines. Possibly, like I said, better faces, better heels, more clear cut, maybe faces and heels. Possibly at some point they'll get a TV deal in 2009. Now it's not going to be early 2009. If they do get when they do get a TV deal, which they will at some point or another, will get a TV deal, which they are having talks with the G4 network and the Versus network, and they'll probably end up getting some type of TV deal in the summer of 2009. So, like I said, this is going to be an interesting process to see happen. Like I said, Gabe Sapolsky did a lot of good things for Ring of Honor, but he did hold him back as far as TV went. And, some of his booking this year has been a little questionable as far as the way the tag team titles have been booked. And, some shows this year have felt, not as, epic and as good as they were, the previous year. More B shows. You have had good to great shows this year, but not to the level they had last year. So possibly, with this new direction, we'll see, a lot of good stuff from it. Like I said, just give it a chance. And see what Adam Pearce does. If he does something that you think is terrible, call him out on it. And if he does something good, I'll give him a chance. Like I said, it's probably going to take at least 6 months until we completely see how this new direction is going to work and see how it does. And yeah, that's it. I know I rambled on here probably for a little too long about this subject, but definitely wanted to give my thoughts out on Gabe Sapolsky's departure from Ring of Honor, their new direction, and what I think, it could possibly do. And like I said, I think it's going to work out. It's going to be one of those growing changes in Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor has had changes like this, over the years, after the Feinstein incident, after the TNA talent departure, and, after those two things, Ring of Honor just came back and did some even better stuff. So hopefully this time it does the same thing, and Ring of Honor keeps on going on the track and showcasing why they are the best U.S. promotion as far as independents or any promotions overall in the United States. And definitely hope they keep going with that, and hopefully this new direction works out. All right, peace.